And welcome to another episode of the Don't Argue with the Fact podcast. I'm your host, Noah Love, and today we will be talking about the wild card weekend of the NFL playoffs. The NFL wild card weekend is in the books, and divisional round weekend is set. Road teams the day, ruled the day in turn or the weekend in terms of winning, I believe. Out of the 6 games, 4 road teams won. Here in the NFL, it was just a great weekend of football. We're gonna talk about it all. Niners upsetting the Eagles, Rams barely escaping by the Panthers, Bears Packers classic. We'll also be talking about the game last night, Steelers Texans, that beat down, and what Pittsburgh should do from here. All that and more right now on the Don't Argue with the Facts podcast. But let's just get straight into it. We will go in chronological order. The Rams survive the Panthers 34-31 in, you can make the case, it may be the best game of the weekend. Let me just start with this. The Rams were a little bit fortunate to win this game. There was a period of time early in this game where the Rams went up 14-0. And you're saying, okay, they gotta put this team away. And they never did it. The Rams were playing with their food. And it almost came back to bite them. Carolina, again, a lot of people, there's no chance, there's no way Carolina can win. Carolina already beat this team, by the way. So they already have that confidence. And then when you consider the fact they're at home, anything can happen when you're at home in a playoff game. The Panthers played their tails off. And if it's not for Matt Stafford in the last 2 minutes, they win the game. Again, this Panthers team, Bryce Young. And I'll say this about the Rams defense. People are like, the Rams are fine. From a defensive standpoint, if they can't get pressure on the quarterback, that back end is toast. That you saw it here again on Saturday night or evening, whenever you were watching it, or afternoon. When Bryce had time, Bryce was making plays. Jalen Coker, 9 catches, 134 yards, and a touchdown. Yeah, Tech McMillan, he had 5 for 81. The Panthers didn't even run the ball well. This game was almost similar to the game they had played earlier in the season. It was dangerously close to that. The difference was Bryce had a turnover, and he had it early, but he did have a turnover. And also, Stafford had less turnovers. To me, a key point in the game was when Puka Nacua, when it looks like Stafford, he makes the wrong read, looks like Mike Jackson's going to get the interception. It's 24-20 at this point, and Puka Nacua knocks it down. That was such a winning play by Puka Nacua. You don't even understand. I have to put this in context. If Mike Jackson intercepts that ball, the Panthers, because it's in the end zone, they probably get from, I think they're on 20 or 25. They already had scored the touchdown to take the lead. That they all have all the momentum. The Rams defense looked a little bit gas, like they couldn't stop them. If there may be a chance the Panthers go down and get a touchdown and make it 2 scores, and the Rams may not be able to come back, or they get a field goal, make a 7-point game, during clock, whatever the case may be. Now, I believe they scored on that possession, a touchdown on that possession. I think, yeah. Look, the Rams have issues. the back end and special teams. Those are their two Achilles heels. And mainly I say special teams because, well, pump 27-24 late in the game, pump block. The Rams were fortunate to get out and survive. They just were. They were fortunate to get out and survive. They won because they have a bad, bad man at quarterback and they have a great head coach. Again, Matt Stafford. He wasn't at his best all day, but when his best was required in the fourth quarter, he came up with the goods. He talked to Devontae Adams in the postgame presser. Stafford says, "Let's go snatch these guys' heart." They snatched them. There were so many plays in this game that I felt like Carolina. I'm thinking, okay, you have obviously I think it was missed field goal at 17-7. You have the Puka Nakua drop at 17-14. If they scored that, it's going to make it 24-14. The pump block. There's so many plays in this game that I'm thinking Carolina, this has all the makings. And the Rams said, not today. So the Rams move on. Carolina, look, they finish. They lose 3 in a row. They win. They back their way into the playoffs. Given heck of an effort, just could not finish. Group had a lot of fight. They competed with some of the top teams. I thought very well this season when Bryce Young was healthy. They got a good core group, man. I thought their GM nailed the offseason. Canales is building something in Carolina. I I really do feel like maybe need to get a better tight end. I mean, Trimble's fine. Got to get better on the defensive side of the ball. If Mike Jackson's a free agent, resign him. Obviously, probably get better at backer as well. And a lot of it for Carolina is just going to be young players progressing. They're still a young team, so a lot of it it's just going to be progressing for them in building on what I think to win the division, regardless of 89, to beat the Rams once, and then in the second one, give them all they can handle, have the lead with about 2 minutes left to play. Insane. I do think Carolina at some point will be back, and we'll see what they're made of. The Rams, though, they advance, and they will take on the Chicago Bears. Speaking of the Bears, Windy City. The Bears beat the Packers 31-27. They win their last two. They take 2 out of 3. The Bears have the upper hand in the rivalry. It's a game and it's a performance by mainly a quarterback that for a franchise that hasn't won a playoff game in 15 years, you'll never forget it. This game was going poorly. It was 21-3 at the half. Green Bay was having their way. And the Bears couldn't really do anything. To me, the key point in this game was when the Packers have 4 possessions coming out of the half and they only had 9 yards. And at that point, I believe it was 21-3 each time. It's just like, if you score a touchdown here, if you go down and get a touchdown, you really put the knife in their hearts. And I believe Chicago, maybe they do try to come back with a little bit something, but you may be able to hold them off. People are going to blame McManus. Look, I get it. You got to make the extra point, especially the extra point in the field goal. I got it. Like, truthfully, I understand that. Like, you got to make those. But he is not the reason they lost this game. The reason they lost this game is because they did not make the plays late, mainly from an offensive perspective. The Bears made every big play late in that game, it felt like, in my opinion. Even when they went up 27-16. You're thinking, okay, Packers up 2 scores, let's see. And then Caleb Williams just makes one of the best throws you ever seen under pressure on 4th and 8. And that's one of those throws where you can't teach that. Again, I truthfully think the Packers defense got a little bit got gassed, and then they got gashed in the fourth quarter. And Jeff Hafley's a great defensive coordinator, but bro, I know you were holding them the whole game, and you were on the field pretty much the whole second half, bro. You can't give up 25 points in the fourth. You just can't do it. I mean, Caleb Williams, 24-48, 361, 2 touchdowns. I get he had 2 picks early. Ben Johnson was being uber aggressive, and I kind of understood it from a perspective from a certain perspective, because I think he felt like, look, their defense was just going to get gashed all game. We have to find a way to turn this into the San Francisco game. If we do turn that in, if we do turn it into that game, we have a shot. And well, it kind of turned into that a little bit, as if Chicago was doing most of the scoring. Look, they did it was essentially no run game. Swift he had a touchdown, but Swift, it's okay, Manunga. They didn't run for over 100. They only averaged 3.3 yards a carry. The run game wasn't there. And that's rare for Chicago this year. So now it's like, okay, where are we finding it? Caleb Williams. Again, guys just stepping up. Colston Loveland, 8 for 137 in the game. He had 15 targets. Again, a rookie. Big time. DJ Moore, again, in this game, the Bears down the stretch, they made the play. They've done it twice in what now, 4 weeks span. They made the plays that they needed to make. This is why you draft Caleb Williams #1 overall. Ben Johnson has done an unbelievable job. I think Jaden Daniels may have been more ready to come in, and you saw that last year. But I think now you're seeing this draft class really come into fruition. I mean, you're looking at it now. Mays had his moment now. We'll get to the Patriots and Chargers a little bit later, but even then, Mays had his moments this season. Caleb Williams just had his playoff moment. Obviously, Jaden Daniels last year had so many moments in the playoffs. There's one quarter. There's obviously Penix hurt, but there's another quarterback that are they going to have their moment? Bo Nix, but we'll save that for a little bit later. We'll save that for a little bit later. So yeah, look, the Bears, it's a great win. They faced the Rams. Early thoughts is I could see this being a shootout because both secondaries struggle. Bears struggle just defensively as a whole. I think if the Rams could get home, they have a good chance. If the Rams could get home, I think they have a good chance to stop the Bears offense. But if they don't, look out. But with both secondaries kind of struggling, giving up what they give up, I could see that being a shootout. Now let's go to Sunday afternoon. The Bills, the first road playoff win. in the Allen and McDermott era, before obviously Allen, McDermott as well, they hadn't won one. They avenged 2018. Man, what a game this was. It was one of those gritty, just grinded out games at some points, and then in the fourth quarter they started exchanging scores. Josh Allen, the reason that the Bills won this game is because of two reasons. Actually, three reasons. One, 17 is better than 16. Allen was better than Lawrence. Two, Allen did not make the crucial turnover. He did not have the crucial turnover or turnovers. And C, the veteran players made plays. Tre'Davious White turned back the clock. Brandon Cooks really turned back the clock. Shaq Thompson had a pick. He had a nice game. I really felt like Matt Milano had a nice game. I think Sean McDermott did a really good job in terms of the coverages um, and confusing Trevor, and just I think this was a great overall job by the Buffalo Bills in winning this game. This is a game that the Bills needed. They just needed this on the road. Now look, I understand I understand that if Sean McDermott had lost this game, they would have. He may have gotten canned. Who knows? You have to give a lot of credit to him because I thought his defensive game plan was great. Now Jacksonville helped out, no doubt. Jacksonville's gashing them running the ball, and they just didn't run it enough. Again, they only ran the ball 23 times. They had 154 yards. They were averaging 6.7 yards per carry. So they were averaging dang near 7 yards per carry, and they just kept throwing it. And it's like, okay, Trevor, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, 207. Okay, that's nice. Run the ball. That literally Jacksonville. If you're a Jacksonville fan, you're kind of like Cohen. Love you. You've had a great season, but when you win this game, if you run the ball more than you did, but granted, they still left the field with the lead, and the defense collapsed, and then it goes to the end. Trevor Lawrence throws it. It's tipped by Tre'Davious White into the arms of Cole Bishop, and the Bills win. To me, there are plays the Shaq Thompson interception that led to a field goal was key, and then Cam Little missing that field goal at the end was also at the end of the first half. So also key. Again, they shouldn't have even got that. I don't know what they're looking at with the triple zeros and all that. I don't even know what they're looking at, but yeah, I mean yeah, I didn't know what they were looking at personally because he's when the ball is snapped, it's clearly triple zeros, and they're like, "Well, we're gonna put 1 second on," and they get a chance to kick, and that was just the biggest ball don't lie moment. So yeah, look, Bills, they now go to play. Who they go play? They go to play Denver, which will not be easy by any means necessary. Uh, the the Jags season ends. It was a great season for Jacksonville. Great season for Jacksonville. 13-4 ended white hot. Not the result you want, but you didn't come out here and like get stomped. Could have won the game. You just lost to a quarterback that was better. Again, you lost to 17. You lost to Josh Allen, who was great. And in the playoffs, historically, he has been great. You did your best. You slowed their run game down. You did a good job of that, but Josh Allen on Sunday was just too good. He was just too good, and that's ultimately what the game comes down to. Now, they go to Denver, Buffalo does. Saturday, 4:30 on CBS. We'll see. But man, that's gonna all the pressure. I don't want to say it's gonna be on Buffalo because they are the 6th seed and Denver's the 1, but man, that game is going to be a trip to the AFC title game on the line. That's going to be very, very fun. Up next, here let's go back to the NFC. The Niners knock off the Eagles 23-19. The Niners now have a date with the Seattle Seahawks. Let's talk about it. Look, Kyle Shanahan, Coach of the Year, him and Robert Saleh. How are they doing this? It's the question you have to ask yourself. And look, I believe they stuffed Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh stuffed Sirianni and Patullo into a locker. That's what happened. The Niners won this game based off the fact that they had the better coaching staff. I don't think Fangio was bad in this game, obviously, for Philly, their defensive coordinator. They did force 2 picks, Quinyon Mitchell, great plays. But from an offensive perspective, there's no way Philly, with that talent, should only score 19 points on a team that's, like, decimated. You have linebackers that weren't even on your team a month ago starting. Your front four, God bless them. But some of these guys, I mean, they're stringers. And then the back end, it's kind of rough as well. And yet, just the grittiness, the ability to not quit. And again, when you needed the goods, Purdy delivered it. That last drive. Again, a lot of people are going to be talking about that Jennings to Christian McCaffrey touchdown catch as they should. Again, Shanahan came out and he said, look, nobody expected us to be here. Let's just go out and ball. That was a great trick play they set up for a touchdown. It was insane. It was incredible. From a Philadelphia perspective, this is an awful loss to end the season. It's not even the fact that you don't repeat, because repeating is hard. At home, like if you win this one and you go on the road and lose to the Bears, that's different. To lose a game to a San Francisco team that is very, very battered, and you don't even score 20 points, and in the second half, you are putrid. Again, on the last series, 2x2. We have 2x2, and we're running just 4 verts. And we ran that play already twice. What are we doing, Philly? What are we doing? I thought Barkley and Bigsby got going. I thought they were running the ball well, and then we just stopped doing it. Jalen Hurts, I understand he didn't have like a great game. I get it. But we don't move Jalen Hurts. We don't use his legs more in the QB run. We don't move his launch point. We don't do anything. We just sit. We just shotgun, sit him back like he's prime Tom Brady. And then where are we running for Barkley? Not a lot of screens. I mean, they ran a couple to get him in space, but the way the Niners use McCaffrey, the Eagles just do complete opposite. Inside zone, inside zone, inside zone. Occasionally an outside zone. Maybe occasionally you'll run a sweep, but inside zone. You know what's crazy of Robert Saleh won't be ready for this inside zone. It's like, what are we doing, chat? What are we doing? Um, but you gotta give a whole lot of credit to the Niners in them finding a way to win this game. I mean, man. You get Demarcus Robinson gets you 6 catches for 111 yards, touchdown, and it's been different guys stepping up all year. Kittle tears his Achilles in this game, which is so brutal. Get well soon, George. We'll miss you on the field, but in your energy, it's just another gut punch in a season full of gut punches and injuries, and yet they're in a divisional round. And if they can somehow, some way, go to Seattle and pull off an upset, they're one win. They're a win away from an NFC title game berth, and then they would be a win away from going to the Super Bowl. Yo, I mean, to me, their season's already a success. With the injuries you had from Jump Street, and then you go on the road and you knock off the reigning defending Super Bowl champs and win a playoff game, that's incredible. So, Niners, man, tip the cap. Tip the cap. Uh, Charge Patriots, Chargers, and Texans, Steelers are going to be lumped together because Patriots, Chargers. What do you want me to say about this game? What do you want me to say about this game? Same thing with Texas Steelers. The Patriots, from an offensive standpoint, did nothing really in this game for about 3 quarters. The Chargers defense, I thought, did a really great job. Outside of May scrambling times, I thought they did a really great job. Again, they got home on May. And the reason I'm lumping it together, talking about May and how the Chargers got home, is because Chargers are a very good defense. They aren't as good as Houston. Houston gets after you. Houston, I'm going to tell you what they're going to do against New England. Houston's going to line up. They are going to have a 4-man rush, and they're going to say, play man-to-man, and they're going to say, you know what? Beat us doing it. Beat us doing it this way. They're going to throw some too high shell. Maybe they play a little bit of zone. And they're like, you know what? You love these yards after catches. We're so great tackling in space that we're not going to allow that. And so, to me, look, New England's defense, I think, maybe a little bit better than we expected. I do believe that. In terms of the back end, I mean, they just took everything the Chargers wanted to do away. Every single thing that they wanted to do away. Also, look, Herbert, people are going to be conversations. People are going to be like the offensive line. Look, there was a time where it was 9-3, and the offensive line only gave up like 2 sacks. I think that was like early in the fourth. They just did the Chargers offensively. They coached scared. Herbert, look, I understand he has some drops, but come on. I mean, you have to be able to do anything, show any sides of life. They flew across the country for 3 points. They got on LAX, got to the team hotel, ate, had Derwin James out there. Oh, shirtless, it's not too tough for him. just for his offense. Granted, defense came to play. Just for that offense to put up 3 points. Son. Really? The Chargers went there. The Chargers genuinely wasted America's time. I'm just going to be honest. 3 points. And I'm only saying it like this because, like, Chargers fans have been trying to defend Herbert. And I get it. You blame Brandon Staley. Like, the Houston game was putrid. This was bad. He's played maybe like 3 good quarters of football. The first half of the Jacksonville game and maybe a quarter in the Houston game. Outside of that, he's been putrid. You can't slice it any other way. You want to put him in, you can't put him in this elite category. You cannot put him in this elite category when Mahomes is a better playoff performer. Lamar is a better playoff performer. He's not even that great of a playoff performer at times. Burrow's a better playoff performer. Allen's a better playoff performer. Jaden Daniels has been a better playoff performer. And he's only been in the league, 2 years? Hurts is a better playoff performer. Stafford's a better playoff performer. I know there are some guys missing. I'm really trying to find it right now. Lawrence, granted, has been better better playoff performer. Barely. Stroud's a better playoff performer. I mean, Dak's a better playoff performer. You can't put him. Purdy, better playoff performer. Caleb Williams won game rivals, whatever he just did, whatever Herbert has done. So if we want to put Herbert in this elite category of quarterbacks, he has to play well in the playoffs. He's played 12 quarters of football and has been putrid in 9 of them. That can't happen. Yeah, so that's it. And the Texans beat down the Steelers. Is it Rodgers' last game? Who knows? I think the sentiment you get is he's probably done. Which I think, look, got back to the playoffs, not the way you ended. I think it's dumb. Done. Not dumb. Done. What do you do with Tomlin? I have no idea. I think you keep him. Truthfully, because like there's nobody better out there. And also you have to look at it like this. Like these rosters he's been given the past couple of years haven't been like great rosters. And he's consistently in the playoffs. And then he's losing in the playoffs. Yeah, he's losing to teams that are better. He lost to Houston last night, who is better. It's a better roster. They have a better quarterback. They lost to the Ravens last year, who had a better roster and a better quarterback. Or you not the Bills the previous year, better roster and better quarterback. The only one in this streak that you can say, yeah, he should have, is like the Cleveland game. Okay, that was bad. The pandemic, that was bad. Outside of that, I mean, if the team has a better quarterback and a better roster and they're well coached, they're probably going to beat Pittsburgh. And I don't think the defense was putrid last night. I just think the defense ran out of gas because from an offensive perspective, they had nothing. So yeah, that is it for this episode of the Don't Argue with the Facts podcast. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until the next time, see ya.